Welcome back to Superstarglam. Today's video is a different video for me. I kind of wanted to start this as a series here on my channel and post this type of video once a week. What it is two things. One is the idea that hopefully using this method, I can start incorporating a lot of palettes that I have in my collection that I have forgotten about. And I guess the goal is to start pulling them all out and put them to use. The other idea is that hopefully this also inspires you. I think that all of us as makeup enthusiasts have collected a lot of palettes over, a certain time span. And we've done the same thing where we gave, let's say, a particular palette love and we kind of forgot about the other ones. This will probably or hopefully motivate you to pull these same palettes that you probably also have in your collection and inspire you to pull it out and create looks with them. Yeah, normally when I sit down to film a tutorial, I usually pick the palette that is newest to me. And like I said, all the other ones, they kind of fall in the back burner and I forget about them and I move on. I know that this will also help me to start playing with all my other palettes. So every week I will be picking a palette from my collection, and not necessarily me picking this. I will be using a tool to help me pick my palette for the week. I am so indecisive when it comes to deciding practically anything. I can never make up my mind. So if you can imagine, when it comes to makeup, it's the same thing. I never know what to use, what to wear, you know what I mean? I found, actually got this idea from this other fellow YouTuber by the name of, oh my God, is Drew blank? Alyssa Ashley. Yes. Yes, she is very, very popular here on YouTube, and she has what she called Mystery Mondays. Or the way she used it was she used a roulette that would determine what colors to use for that particular look. So if she picked 3 colors, you know, whatever those colors it landed on, those were the colors that she had to incorporate into her look. Now, she actually killed those videos because she did an awesome job creating those looks with random colors. I mean, I have a hard time putting colors together. So I thought it was a neat idea to use a roulette, and I figured, well, I don't want the colors chosen for me. What I want is the palette chosen for me. But I couldn't possibly include every single palette that I have in my roulette. And by the way, the roulette, I downloaded an app that uses a roulette. It's called Decide Now, and you can actually create so many wheels, yeah, with so many different, I mean, they already have some that are pre-made for you, like where to eat, where to go out, weekend activities, so on and so forth. So you have the option to create your own wheel. So that's what I did, and I called it Palettes I Should Use. And what I did, it looks like this. And what I did was I included the brand names. especially a lot of the brand names that I have several palettes for. So I have an entire list of brands, and they're all in the wheel. And then when I go ahead and spin, it will land on a brand. For example, in this case, it landed on Morphe. So I had three palettes to choose from, and I picked from those three palettes. I picked the newest one that I just picked up, which is the Morphe 3502 palette. I hope it's making sense what exactly I am doing. If it doesn't, then go ahead and just keep watching just so that you get the idea. This is just my first of many videos that I plan to create. I want to do this on a weekly basis. And oh yes, and most importantly, what I want to do is not only create the first look or the tutorial using this palette or using the palette that was chosen for me, but I also plan to stick with that palette for an entire week until next week when I choose my next palette. So with that said, I know this is a really long intro, and I really want to apologize. With the palette and the looks that I will be creating during the week, I will be updating those looks on my Instagram if you want to go and check that out over there on my Instagram. But if not, for example, next week when I do my other I don't even know what I'm calling what I'm calling these videos. But next week when I go and I do my second video, I will include pictures of all the looks that I created using this palette. So if you are interested to see the whole process, me using the little roulette and picks my palette for me, then just keep watching. So let's get started and pick out what palette I will be playing with today. Okay, so I'm going to give it a good spin. Now I gotta pull out all the palettes that I have from that brand and pick one of them to use for today's tutorial. Okay, so I think I thought I had more than this, but I have the 35E. I got the 35F, which I think this is like one of my favorites, just because it has like all the neutral shades like you can ever ask for, plus matte shades also. It's the 35F. And the last one I have is probably the one that I'm going to end up using because it's my newest one, and it is the 3502. So I think it'll be perfect to use for this video. I'm taking the BH Studio Pro number 16 brush, and I'm using this to apply the transition color, which is called Universal. Now I'm going to switch over to this brush. It's a Luxie double-ended brush, and I'm going to actually try a different technique, and I'm going to pat on the entire like crease area that color, and the color I'm taking is the shade Fire from the palette, and I am just really packing it and creating like the shape that I'm going for, and then just going over in like really tiny precise circular motions on the edges to try to blend that out without having it go past that area. Now I'm taking this little blending, it's like a mini blending brush from BH, it's their vegan line, and I'm taking this shade Ablaze and using that to further blend out those edges. I'm just really trying to keep it in that area and really blow out and blend out any edges. Then I'm taking that fluffy brush I initially used and just blending it out further. Now I'm taking this dome-like brush from BH also, and I'm taking the shade So Warm with a mix of the shade Brunette, and I am blending that out and adding it to the outer and the inner corner of the eye. I just want to deepen it up in the outside and inner portion of the eye, and just keeping the middle portion as bright as it is. Now I'm taking this brush from also BH. It's from their Smoky Eye collection, or the Smoky Eye set that I have, and I'm using that to just further blend out the inner and the outer portion of the eye. Then taking that Luxie flat shader brush and blending out those edges with no more product on the brush. Just further blending it out. And then taking that fluffy brush and just cleaning out the edges. Now to further intensify this look, I am wetting my brush with Fix Plus, and I am packing on the shade Ruby, which is that really like metallic-y raspberry shade, and then I'm just applying it in the center of the eye. I'm gonna pack it as intense as I can, and then just blend out the edges. I'm also going to deepen up the inner and the outer portions of the eye until I am happy with the intensity, and then as usual just blend out the edges to make sure it's all smooth. And then I'm taking the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I felt like this look needed a wing liner, so that's what I'm doing. And once I'm happy with it, then I'll finish the other eye as well and work on the bottom lash line. I am taking the Black Shadow Wiz just in the bottom lash line, and then I'm blending it out with that flat shader brush, and whatever's left from that ruby shade, I don't want to like drag it out and make it too red under the eye. And then I'm taking that little blending brush and just blending out the edges, making sure there are no harsh lines. I'm adding a little bit of that ruby shade just in the inner portion of the lower lash line. And again, just making sure everything is clean and smooth. I'm taking this Butter London Iconic Blast, or Iconic Last mascara, and I just like to use this one for the lower lash line because it actually stays put, doesn't smear. And then just, I mean, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I just couldn't resist using this highlighter, the Amorese and Anastasia of Beverly Hills highlighter. I just applied this to the inner corner. I had already applied it to my face, so I just wanted to make it pop. So all I did was apply the Beauty Bakery Cinnamon Roll Lip Whip, the metallic one. It's like a brownish, copperish type of shade. I just didn't want to do nude because I would normally do this with a nude, so I just paired it with this. So this is the completed look using the Morphe 3502. Yes, 3502. The Second Nature palette. It's definitely bold and it's definitely intense, but I think that once I applied the liner, it all kind of came together. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that hopefully you'll enjoy the next videos that I'll be putting up like this. As I mentioned, I do want to start this as a series here on my channel, once a week. Next week when I post my new video, I will include all the looks that I created during the week using this palette. But if you want to take a look at all the looks beforehand, you can also go on to my Instagram and check it out over there. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, really appreciate it and would help me out a lot. And I will see you next time. Bye.